Hi everyone, we're starting off today from Tarbert in Kintyre, where we were hoping to go to the Isle of Arran via the backdoor route using the Claonaig ferry to Lochranza, but as you'll see, things did not go to plan. As you can see, when we arrived at Claonaig, the wind had picked up dramatically and we were told the incoming ferry may not be able to land. Initially we thought we'd take our chances, but as it was set to remain windy for the next 2 days, there was a risk that the ferries would be cancelled and we would be stranded on the island. So we made the decision not to board, and while we watched the drama unfold, we hatched an alternative plan for the day. So we drove back through Tarbert and headed up through Knapdale to a place I've wanted to visit for ages. Yeah, so we're just going to climb up the hill fort. No idea how taxing it's going to be. It's certainly very windy. This hill fort was the supposed seat of the kings of Ballochroy, which was an ancient kingdom before Scotland was recognised as a country of that name, and it included a lot of the islands off the west coast and Argyll. I think even as far down as Cumbria. Right, this is the bit where it looks like it starts getting steep. Am I going the right way here? Okay. Yeah, so that's the entrance. So let's go in and have a look at the hill fort, shall we? Hill fort was first used in the Iron Age, but most significantly by the Dalriada in the early medieval period between AD 400 and 800 as a high status place of ceremony where kings were inaugurated. There's evidence here of the ceremonies. We're looking for a footprint carved into a rock which the new king would place his foot in, some other rock carvings and something thought to be a stone ceremonial throne. This is the way up to the summit. Still haven't found those cup and ring marks in the footprint yet. I thought they were slightly lower than the summit, but I haven't found them. I'll go up to the summit and maybe try and have a look for them. Wow. So have a look at that. Absolutely fantastic. So I think there's still just a little bit more to go. I'll walk up there in a second. Right, so let's go right up to the top now. Yeah, so they mentioned there's a well. I don't know whether that seems a bit small for it, doesn't it? Is that a cut mark? And one of the other rocks here. That's the footprint. That's the footprint. Not exactly sure what the mark next to it is, but right, I've got to try and put my foot in the footprint, haven't I? I am king of all Dalriada. Can you just see the lines there? That is Ogham script. Ogham is an early medieval script used primarily to write the early Irish language. Right, so there's a set of steps there to the top. But it's got so windy. I mean, it's quite a drop, as you can see, off the edge of them. So I'm a little bit concerned, but I think it's got to be easier than trying to go this way. But I'll just try and take it steady. There we go. Okay. And here we are on top of the hill fort. Absolutely fantastic. This feature on the summit is the remains of a monumental roundhouse of stone where leaders gathered to feast and discuss the issues of the day. So the only thing I hadn't seen yet was the ceremonial stone throne, so I made my way down for one last look. Right, I think this might be the feature that's thought to be possibly the stone throne. Let's just have a look over here. So the stone on top was thought to be upright, creating the throne, but has since fallen and is lying on top of the seat which the king would have sat on after his inauguration, looking out across his lands. Absolutely incredible, this place. So I think we'll call that quits and just descend from here. So high above the important strategic port of Tarbert sits Tarbert Castle. The castle dates back to at least the 13th century and controlled the anchorage in the bay below and the land between Tarbert's east and west lochs. In 1292, the castle was granted to John Balliol by Edward I of England, but by 1306 Robert the Bruce was king, and in 1325, 11 years after Bannockburn, he enlarged the castle to over 2 acres, building a large curtain wall and a drum tower. The curtain walls are still visible as lumps and bumps in the ground as we approach the upright remains of the keep. In 1494, James IV of Scotland used the castle as his base for campaigns in the Western Isles. The castle continued its royal connections, but by the 18th century was in ruins. Ballochroy standing stones is a row of 3 megaliths which sit on a hillside looking across the sea to the Isle of Jura with its distinctive mountains. There is a stone-chambered cairn close by which appears to point towards the stones, suggesting a connection to them. The stones align with the midsummer and winter solstices, therefore operating as an astronomic calendar. I assumed there had been more stones at one time, however looking across to Jura I thought maybe the stones reflected the 3 main peaks on the island opposite. Just some speculation on my part, but the midsummer sun would shine behind those mountains.